committee meeting for the first time in 2026. This meeting has been held remotely and also in person and will be filmed and recorded for live and subsequent broadcast available through the Council's website. The Council is a data controller under the General Data Protection Regulations and Data Protection Act 2008. We broadcast and record Council meetings to fulfil our public task obligation to enable members of the public to observe the democratic process. Data collected during the process will be retained in accordance with the Council's published policies available through the Council's website. Members of the Council are reminded that they should follow the Council's established meetings protocols, including the use of the chat facility, and that comments made in the chat facility are visible to all participants in the meeting, which may include members of the public who have also received invites to the meeting. So with that, can I go to apologies, substitutions and declarations of interest? Diane?
We have no apologies for absence. We'll now move to an attendance roll call before proceeding to the declarations of interest. And the following members please indicate if they're present at the meeting, either in person or remotely. Councillor Armstrong? Present in the chamber. Councillor Brennan? Present in the chamber. Councillor Clopperty?
Present chamber.
Councillor Hellier?
Present remotely.
Councillor McGuire? Present. Councillor McDay?
In chamber.
Councillor Nelson? Councillor Quinn?
Present remotely.
Councillor Reynolds?
Present remotely.
Councillor Robertson?
Present in the chamber.
Councillor Wilson? Are there any declarations of interest?
Natasha?
Yes, thank you. In item 4, I have two interests. I don't think either of them preclude me from participating in the discussion today. One is that I organise and run a Warm Hands of Friendship groups with a local church. And the second one is I'm part of one of the community sports clubs that is mentioned there, but I don't think either of them preclude me from participating. Thank you.
Thanks. Elizabeth?
Again, item 4 involved in a number of the projects that have received Warm Hand of Friendship. And in item 8, just the declaration of the beacon, but obviously I'm a council appointee on the beacon, so I'll remain in the room.
Okay, thank you. Okay with that, Diane? Oh, sorry, Pam.
Thanks, convener. Yes. Also, item 8, governance of external organisations. I'm on the board of IBCSS, but I'm a council appointee and don't feel there's anything that makes me thank you.
Thank you for that. Francesca?
Thanks, convener. Similar to Councillor Robertson, I'm also a council appointee to the board of the Beacon. So just to make that declaration, thank you.
Councillor Reynolds?
Thank you, convener. Similar to Councillor Armstrong, except that I'm in the Inverclyde Leisure Board.
Okay.
Item 8, sorry.
Thank you. Pam, you?
Oh, sorry.
Right, no problem. And with that, if that's all the declarations done, Tommy, you sure you don't? But can we move along to item number 2, which is the revenue budget update?
Yes, thanks, convener. So this is the community's revenue budget for 25-26. The current budget for this part of the committee is 5.813 million, and the latest projections are an overspend of 52,000 or 0.9% of the budget. And that's an increase in expenditure of £8,000 since the last committee. The main variants are highlighted in paragraph 3.3. So the overspend is mainly due to non-achievement of turnover savings within libraries, museum and community safety. And that's all partially offset by over recovery of school rights income. Moving on to section 3.4 and appendix 4, that gives details of earmarked reserves. The only earmarked reserve for 25-26 is the community grants. That's 25,000, and we've spent that at the first round it was issued a couple of months ago. And the remainder of that earmarked reserve will be carried forward for the next used in the next 2 financial years as a substitute for a budget saving. Not requesting any requirements this committee cycle, so committee are just asked to note unprojected overspend of 52,000 for the community's part of the committee, and happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Ian. Can I open up to questions? Can't see anything in the chamber. and I can't see anything online. Can we agree on the report?
Agreed.
Thank you. Can we move to the community side, the capital side? Unfortunately, Hugh's not with us today, but Tony's going to start us off with that, and we've got Eddie here as well to help me answer any questions. Tony.
Thanks, Convener. So this report considers the performance of the community's capital programme and a set of the items. Capital budget is 1.829 million and the total projected spend on budget. A number of projects are highlighted in the report: the Leisure Beaches asset plan for Green Hill, the Green Road Community Centre, the South West Community Hub, which has been approved by the Scottish Government, and is ready to provide answers to any questions anybody has on that at the moment. The Bank Street Community Hall, which we are progressing well, and we are trying to get the group, the officers are working with the group to get a contract before the end of this month. And also just to highlight the Changing Places funding that has come in, and we're working with Inverclyde Leisure to commence work on those sites for which will be detailed in the report. Also, there's an update on the Asset Transfer Working Group, and I will draw attention to the Coppermine Community Hub, which I believe Environment Regeneration Committee last week, and that was approved. So that's a approved transfer of ownership into Community Hub. And once that is fully in place, I'll bring back something to this committee. But that's a success story for an asset transfer. We'll move that over to the Coppermine Community Hub. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Tony. Eddie, I'll just bring you in when anyone's got any questions, if that's okay, unless you've got anything you want to add just now.
Nothing just now, okay.
I'll open it to questions. So I've got Natasha first. Natasha.
Yep. Mine is more two comments rather than a question. So my first comment is just on the appendix. It's really helpful to see all those asset transfers put out on that one. It's not necessarily the newest thing, but it is really helpful to see the progress that's been made. And secondly, just under 3.6 Grieve Road Community Centre, it's really great to see this investment happening, and I just want to thank all the volunteer groups that have helped build the centre over the past little while, and for the officers that have really worked to make sure that this funding can be kept in place. I know that last year there was some timescale issues around it, but I think this will build on the really good work that the volunteer group that we've got working out at the centre at the moment is doing. It really has added great value to the people in my local ward. And I think that the improvements that have been suggested alongside the Changing Places Fund being used will provide an exciting opportunity for the people in my ward to be able to access not just affordable childcare, but also to run further groups and activities for people. So thank you to the office that have started doing that, and I'm looking forward to seeing the progress of that, because I'm aware that we've got a very, very tight timescale. So thank you.
Thanks, Natasha. I welcome Councillor Wilson to the meeting. David, you're welcome. The only thing you've missed is the revenue account. So we're actually on to the capital budget now, David, if you can hear me. And I'm just opening up for questions. I've got Tommy, Councillor McVeigh.
Thanks, Convener. Just on the Green Road, the report says that the progress of the project remains subject to tender evaluation. Just wondering if Mr. McGill can give us any further updates on that, where we are with that.
Yeah, through you, Convener, the tenders come back just before Christmas. Because of the Christmas holiday period, it's taken us a new year before we can conclude that. We should be concluding the evaluation this week. Once we've done that, then we need to bring something back, probably back with the Browse report. Tenders, once we have a response to the tender process itself, if they come back a wee bit higher than we hoped they would. And we also need to re-engage through you and this team, the Scottish Government, just to bring them up to speed with where we are. You know, it's moved on another few weeks, and then just to reaffirm the commitment to the funding, because the programme will be slightly affected by the fact that we're not got formal contract, and we've got to also check whether we have statutory approvals as well. So almost there, but still subject to conclude the evaluation, the statutory approvals, and the re-engaging Scottish Government that are comfortable with it.
Thank you. Tom, is that okay? I've got Councillor Reynolds. Sandra.
Thank you, convener. Just a comment I raised at the last meeting about the location of the change places at the waterfront, to consider possibly a better site for that in view of the changes due to regeneration project in Greenock Town Centre. So thank you for considering that, and I believe that that is now going to be placed at a slightly different occasion, and since it is modular, it can be moved in the future if that is appropriate. Thank you.
Eddie, do you want to come? No.
I don't have any information on that particular item, so unless Chloe does.
I don't have any further information, but I'm aware of the request, as Councillor Reynolds has said, because it is modular. Just it's still in the same location in terms of the waterfront. Overall locations has to be in our land, it's just in a slightly different place.
And the only caveat I would say is also it's still going through a statutory approval process, so we still need planning approval of the ones, etc. So that's subject to that process.
Okay, thanks, Eddie. Do we have any other questions? If not, can we agree the report? Can I move on to agenda item number 4, which is just the general update. Quite a lot in it, as I'm sure people have read through it, but I'm going to ask them to take us through it, Tony.
Thank you, convener. So this report provides the committee with an update on the significant activities undertaken by Culture and the Communities Service. Although there's 12 updates there, I just want to draw your attention, I suppose, to 4 that I have selected. If you've got any questions in any other, please just come forward. So the first of those, just to note the continued community work by the Library Service, which has had a really busy couple of months with its work to improve digital inclusion, health improvement, and also not forgetting its primary purpose to improve access to reading. It's also programmed a lot of work in central to Port Glasgow's 250-year commemoration, including a very popular Dungeons and Dragons event at Newark Castle. And you may have also seen the work undertaken in partnership with St Stephen's and Magic Torch in relation to the story of Chippy McNish and the Endeavour. And if you haven't seen that, I'd urge you to go and have a look at it. And that was through the creation of a graphic novel as well. And secondly, just although the Watt institution remained closed, the staff are working really hard. And just to note that 2026 marks the 150th anniversary of the Maclean Museum and Art Gallery within the institution. And to mark this, the team are planning, amongst other things, an extensive exhibition of the Cairns collection, which has over 150 items, and also to display some of the work of the Royal Scottish Academy, which celebrates its 200th anniversary this year too. So we've got plans in place for when the museum opens up again. I'd also like to highlight the work of the community sports hubs and how it's extending its reach, or enabling clubs extending their reach into communities, and the work that we also do with that officer and the clubs, and just to improve, amongst other things, access to women and girls for sport, and also participants with additional needs. And lastly, just also to note, the service has given out over £90,000 in warm hands of friendship grants to 59 projects across Inverclyde. Happy to take any questions on it.
Thank you. I have got Francesca. Francesca, do you want to start?
Thanks very much, convener, and thanks a lot for all that information that's here. Really clear for us to read, and really good for us to see all that. It's loads of great stuff there, and as you say, in your report, there's so much going on with libraries and books and reading, and that's before we even get to the Beacon Book Festival, the first ever one that's going to be coming to Inverclyde in February, and I know the libraries are working with that. It's just struck me while reading that I'm thinking a few things that were talked about in Inverclyde are now national initiatives, like reading schools. I remember Mark Boyle, who's now a retainment advisor, and myself talking about that when he was in St John's, and then colleagues talking about every child a library member. That's now a national initiative, and I'm just thinking Inverclyde's really well on its way to becoming a reading authority. And I don't know if we want to put that out there. We're different from Hay on Wye, we're different from Wigtown certainly, but the amount of book and literacy activity going on, I think that would be something that would be we could become the first area possibly to do that. Yeah, and so just like they were comments, really, I think I'm looking at warm hands of friendship, so 59 grants is brilliant. And I know there are some new organisations, I think, coming on board with that. Like I saw, we were told about the Inverclyde Veterans Network now running events. And I just wondered, that's been something that's really close to my heart since it was introduced. And I just thought, looking at it, I think across Inverclyde that pretty much every day you could go somewhere now through that initiative to get food in a warm space. I was just to check, is there the enthusiasm for it just as much still there as it was in the beginning, just to find out a wee bit more about that? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just by the level of applications that we're having, I think as people are getting used to it being available in the winter, then that's keeping the interest up. And I know certainly for a number of groups, it's a really welcome bit of funding that enables them to do a lot of, particularly around the whole social isolation piece as well. So certainly not in the sense that the interest of it is waning in any way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Francesca. I'm going to bring Councillor Hellier in. Ian.
Thanks, Convener. Yeah, it's just an update regarding the libraries at Gourock Library and the Macmillan Nurses. I was speaking to them last week. Unfortunately, it had been off during most of January due to staff availability and staff sickness, but they're pleased to tell me that from February they're going to be having staff back into Gourock Library to have a Macmillan nurse present. That's certainly a great service for Gourock. Thanks.
Right. Thank you, Ian. Is there any other comment? Just to reiterate what Francesca says, we put in the funding for the Warnhanders Friendship, but we shouldn't forget the good work that the volunteers do and all these fantastic groups that we've got there to maintain that unity spirit, which is very much alive in Inverclyde. So as long as we can try to keep the funding going, then if they're doing the voluntary work, then it's a great partnership I think we've got there. So with that, can we agree the recommendations? Thank you. And again, can we move to agenda item number 5, which is again the inclusive communities, our old CLD, and it's the annual report, and we're going to bring us through that, Tony.
Thanks, Convener, and so I'm not going to go through this report in its entirety because it's quite lengthy. I think it's just an important report in respect of the development of inclusive communities as a service, and it's really there just to highlight the excellent work that's going on by the inclusive community service within our communities, and really, I suppose, just wanted to, we see from section 3.5, 3.6, 3.7 onwards, that will highlight some of the main initiatives that the service is actually involved in. I suppose just to say that we obviously report the performance of this service through other means, through our committee plan as well. So this really is there to bring, I suppose, to highlight to elected members the breadth and the depth of the work that gets on within inclusive communities, and I'd be happy to take any questions on the aspect.
Okay, I'm going to bring Pam in first. Pam.
Oh, thanks, Convener. Yeah, I'm looking at big page 89. Greenock East and Central. October 25 saw Greenock Central's new community council established. The Central Community Council is another one that crosses ward boundaries, so that it includes elected members from Ward 3 and Ward 4. And I'm just wondering if there's any kind of update. I mean, has it met? Is it because I'm not aware of. Well, I don't think I've been invited to any meetings. I might not be, but I just wonder if there's any update, any progress. Thank you.
Usually I would pass it through to the officers, but I'm actually aware that there has been. I think what they've done is they've done their first meetings with regard to possible office bearers, Pam. So they've done their first initial meeting with the people who have said they'll go on the community council. They've done all that, and they've sort of indicated who are going to be the office bearers of it. And what they're planning to do is they're planning to hold their first meeting with elected members within the next month or so, and hopefully we'll be contacted within the next few weeks. And that's information I've got. So unless Ruth wants to, or Tony, and I'm sorry for jumping in there, but I was just speaking about it last week, the exact same question.
Just to say we can follow up and make sure that all the appropriate invitations are issued.
Thanks very much. Thanks, convener. Thank you.
I'll open up to other questions. Do we have any? Can't see anything online. Can't see anything here. Again, it just shows the breadth of work that has been done within inclusive communities. It touches every section of Clyde and every section of people's lives as well. So again, it's just a well done to the team for all the hard work that they do in every year. So if you can pass on our thanks to all the team at Inclusive Communities, I much appreciate, Tony.
Thank you for that.
And if we can agree that, can we move to agenda item number 6, which is an update on the Port Glasgow Community Hub? Tony.
Thanks, convener. So this report is essentially just as we the hub is now open, and it's really to bring elected members of the committee up to date with the activities that are going on at the moment within the hub. And you can see at 4.4 the range of services that are accessing the hub at the moment. As you know, the Clune Park is also relocated to this hub as well, and obviously we continue to develop through a partnership with Inverclyde Leisure access to the hub and make sure that this vital asset is maximised to the best of its ability. So happy to take any questions on that.
Thank you, Tony. I'll open up to questions. Can't see anything in the room and I can't see anything online. Can you agree with the report?
Agreed.
And can we move to agenda item number 7, which is the Watt Institution documentation policy? We have Sarah here online. Sarah, would you like to take us through the paper?
Thanks, convener. Sorry, I don't know if my video is working there, but I've popped up. Thank you very much. So the documentation policy for the Watt Institution is part of a suite of policies required for the accountable management of the museum collections within the Watt Institution. This is part of our accredited museum status. This is an early update to the policy within our existing accreditation cycle, and it brings the policy in line with the Council's revised policy template. It's also provided an opportunity to better represent the wider Watt Institution collection, so it now includes, for example, the Inverclyde archives. The policy highlights the core responsibility of documentation as part of collections management in a museum setting, and we've benchmarked it against sector standards and ensured that it supports best practice. If there's any questions about any element of the policy, happy to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. I'm going to open up to any questions. Can't see anything in the room. I can't see anything online. So can we agree the paper?
Agreed.
And thank you, Sarah. Can we move to agenda item number 8, and that's the governance of external organisations? And I'm going to ask Ruth to introduce the paper. Ruth.
So this is the second part of reporting on our governance of external organisations, and then we had a report from community centres in the previous committee. So this is particularly looking at Inverclyde Leisure, Beacon Arts Centre and IBCSS. So the report basically outlines the key highlights, also any risks facing some of the organisations, and the appendices. Appendix 1 is linked to Inverclyde Leisure with the numbers and the targets against the year, and Appendix 2A and 2B is linked to the Beacon Arts Centre, looking at the facts and figures and also updating on the outcomes for the year. And happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Ruth. I'm going to open it to questions. I can see Tommy, Councillor McVeigh. Tommy.
Thanks, convener. On 4.4 and 4.5, 4.5 outlines the list is the Beacon just referred to. Now, the report of 4.4 says that the account showed a positive position. I'm just looking for some more details on that, if maybe not with figures, but at least can you give us a degree of comfort that things are progressing in the right direction, and we'll be able to deal with any issues that come forward. But a strong support, we can like to see it doing well. I'm just looking for some comfort, convener. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Ruth.
Yes, so the accounts give a very positive position. What the Beacon have worked at very part of the previous sort of 2 to 3 years is making sure that they're putting money aside for repairs so that they're not hitting some of the problems of previously where they had unexpected repairs which they couldn't contain. So they have got the building levy fund that they put onto tickets, and they give a presentation to members saying that that helps with a lot of the ongoing maintenance and repairs. The beacon is still, I mean, the numbers are going up. Their programming is still attracting people, and I think they've had the most successful ever Panto season, which of course brings in revenue for them. What they are now looking at is any building repairs that might be beyond which they can reasonably look at. So, for instance, they are now looking at building survey, a condition survey, and they're working alongside the council team to work with a provider to undertake a condition survey, just to make sure there's no unexpected surprises. The building is only 10 years old, so they're not anticipating that, but it's prudent for them to actually start to plan for the maintenance of the building as they go ahead as well, and that's what they're in the middle of doing. But they're, as far as we know, they're able to contain all of their expenditure. They did have a £20,000 cut in a previous budget round, and they've been able to cope with that. And also they've had the Creative Scotland RFO, the Regular Funded Organisations settlements. So it's a good positive position.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Any other member? Can't see anything online. Can we agree the report?
Agreed.
And can I thank you very much? That's the community side of the report. And I'll see you back at 4 o'clock.